What's going on, YouTube world? This is your guy, Sealz the man, and I'm back at you with another video on this beautiful day. You know, most of my videos are light, good energy, even funny, you know what I'm saying? That's just who I am. But in this specific video, I'm going to get a little serious because life is not always light, cheery, and funny. In order to be 100% real with you, I have to talk about certain topics like this. And in this video, I will talk about the sayings or the things people say that you should never ignore, nor take lightly for that matter. And before I get started, as always, I just want y'all to please hit that red button that says subscribe below this video box, just to keep up with all my new videos. Like, comment, subscribe, have a conversation about this. I love collaboration. I love conversation. And hit that ring bell so anytime I post a new video, you'll be the first one to know. And also follow my Instagram page. It's new. Check me out on there. Just another way to communicate and get connected with y'all. Thank you for your support, as always. Let's get started. The number one thing you should never ignore or take lightly is when someone says to you, "I'll kill you." They can say it jokingly. They can say it in a light manner. But that is one line I never play with. Never. Because in my opinion, it takes a lot to even joke and say that I'll kill you. That's not something that vibes with me really well, because I know people who got killed by people who joke like that. And when you encounter those situations, when it hits close to home, you start to notice that that line isn't too funny. I always believe what you put in the universe, what you put out in the universe comes back to you twofold. And that goes for the good things you do and the bad things you do. The good things you say and the bad things you say. Be careful what you say and be careful how you speak, because those things might come to pass. Also, another reason why I don't play with that saying "I'll kill you" is because you never know what people are thinking. You never know what they're going through, and you never know their motive. So just because a close friend or a husband or a wife said that to you and you know they won't do anything to you like that, you know they won't, that does not mean you need to take that line with any old body, especially strangers. It's just not a good thing to say. It gives off bad energy. Watch out for that line. Be careful and never ignore that. The second thing you should never ignore and take note of is when someone says they are tired of living and/or "I don't want to do this any longer." This hits very close to home because I had one of my very close friends a few years ago tell me these exact things, right? And we were talking, having normal conversation, and she just said that line just out of nowhere. At first, I didn't take it seriously. I was just like, you know, how people say, "Oh, I'm tired," or "Oh, I don't feel like doing this," or "I hate today," you know, stuff like that. But that day it was a little different because her tone was a little different, and it was on the phone. And I felt it. And I said to myself, something's not right. Something's off. So I asked her, I said, "Hey, you want to go out to eat and just talk a little bit? Like, are you okay?" And one thing with asking people, are they okay? You usually get a lie back. A lot of people usually don't tell you that they aren't okay when you ask them if they're okay. It's just one of those questions that people usually truly don't answer, right? So we went out to eat and she told me that she was very depressed. She's very introverted, so she doesn't really talk a lot. So she trusts me enough to talk to me about how she felt. And she told me she was on the edge of ending it all, you know, committing suicide. And I was just thinking, you know, during that time, like I was nervous and it just, you know, in my emotions, but I didn't show it on the outside because I had to remain calm. I had to be there for her. I had to bring Sealz the man out. I had to help her. You know, it really disturbed me. But I was just thinking, even after we hung out, after I helped her out, I cleared her mind. I talked her out of it. I told her why life was worth it. You know, I did all the things, you know, usually do on this channel. You know, I try to help my friends. And just after she told me that whole day, I was just thinking like, man, what if I didn't talk to her? And even if I did talk to her, what if I didn't ask her to, you know, "Hey, you want to go out to eat, to talk about things, to talk about life, to talk about what's going on with you?" What if I didn't do it? What if I took what you said, which was, "I'm tired of living, I don't want to do this any longer." What if I took that as, you know, nothing, and I just let you go on about your day? I could have got one of the worst news, one of the worst text messages in my life that night or the next day. Like, you just never know. So one thing I stress is that when you have conversations with people, take note, pay attention, look beyond the words, look at their body language, listen to their tone, and take into account how their life is at that moment. Take into account how many things they're going through at that moment. Because if they're going through a lot of things and they say things like this, that is not good. So please pay attention to your friends and your loved ones and those you don't know. Because saying things like this might be their way of trying to get to you without exposing their whole life to you. Because saying things like this is very hard. It's tough. It takes a lot of courage. So this might be their way. The third thing you should never ignore and take lightly is someone who asks you, why are you so happy? Right off the bat, you sound envious. Right off the bat, you sound jealous. And right off the bat, you sound like you hate it. Because why are you asking someone why they're happy? The goal of life is to be happy, to enjoy life, right? And that's when you learn that not everyone wants to see you happy. Some people hate to see people happy, especially people that they know, especially people that are close to them, because they believe if they are happy, they deserve to be happy as well, because they come up in the same area, came up in the same hood, came up in the same city, came up with the same people. So if they see you doing your thing and you're happy, they feel like they deserve the same thing because y'all come from the same place. And that's just not how life works. So how dare you ask somebody why they are happy? Does that make sense to you? And I know there are a lot of people out there that are struggling with happiness. I was one of those people. I was in my little depressed mode when my grandfather passed away. And in those times, it was very hard to see people happy because I wanted to be happy. But I was never jealous. I was never hating on their happiness. What I wanted was to be at that point. I wanted to be at that point of happiness that they had. So if you're in that position, right, instead of asking, why are you so happy? Ask, how do you get your happiness? How did you get to your point of happiness? What are the things you do to maintain your happiness, to keep your happiness, to get your happiness? Learn how to get there. Don't hate, because you never know what that person went through to get their happiness. The demons and the dark times and the holes and the ditches that they had to come out of to get to that high point of happiness. You just never know. So don't hate on someone else's triumphs and achievements and happiness. Instead, try to find out how to get there. The fourth thing you should never take lightly, and you should never ignore when someone says to you, you're acting brand new. I'm acting brand new? So you expect me to stay the same for the rest of my life? Oh, no. I see what it is. You want me to stay the same to keep your comfort level with me the same. You're comfortable with the Sealz you know, right? You don't want that to change. You don't like change, right? So you want me to stay the same. When people say things like you act brand new, they expect you to not grow. They don't expect to see development. And in most cases, they don't want it. You got to understand, when people are trying to do better for themselves, when people are trying to enrich their lives, they cannot stay the same. They cannot stay in the same place as you always known them to be. They have to move on. They have to move up. They have to move, period. How can you run and stand still at the same time? It is impossible. Growth takes change. Even now, when people say to me, oh, you acting brand new, I say thank you, because I've worked too hard. I prayed too many times. God has done too many things for me to stay the same. And no, that does not mean I'm acting like I'm better than you. That does not mean I'm acting like I'm better than anyone else. All it means is I am better than the person I was yesterday. I am better than the person I was last month. And I am better than the person I was 5 years ago. It's not about you. It's about me. If the light that shines from me is too bright for you, I'm going to need you to walk away, because that is my goal. My goal is to increase my light, and I don't need anyone, any negativity to try to dim my light. That's what I want y'all to know. And I want y'all to never forget that. Never dim your light for someone else because they can't handle the light. Never dim your light for someone else because they want to be in the shade. Because in reality, you are brand new every single day. You are never the same as the person you was yesterday, because each experience that you go through every single day changes you. It is literally impossible to stay the same every single day. So yes, I'm brand new. Yes, you are brand new. And I want to encourage them to be brand new as well. And the fifth thing I want you to never ignore, never take lightly, and to be safe is when someone tells you they don't like you. Like, I don't like you. Because in my opinion, saying you don't like someone is way stronger than saying you hate someone. Just think about it. Think about how many times someone said, oh, I hate you. Shoot, even in one of my favorite movies I watched, Baby Boy, she said, I hate you, Jody. I hate you, Jody. And then the next second, I love you, Jody. And you know what else happened. It seems like these days, hate is not as strong as it should be, right? But to tell someone you don't like them, that's real. And you don't hear that a lot. So when you hear that, that means the person means it. So no matter if you were the cause of them not like you, or they just don't like you for their own reasons, be careful. Take note of that, because you might be in danger. And that person might be your threat. Don't play with people. And I know some people want to act tough. Some people want to act like they can't be touched. Some people want to act like people won't do things to them. But if you watch the news every single day and every single night, there is a story of a loved one who killed a loved one, or a loved one who hurt a loved one. And that person never thought that loved one would do that to them. It seems like family and loved ones are hurting their loved ones more than strangers are. So you got to be careful in this world today. Pay attention to when someone announces that they do not like you. If they do not like you, if they say that to you, move away, get out, keep it moving. And me, I'll try to solve the situation. I'll try to see why you don't like me. Try to talk it out. But that doesn't always solve everything. And that's okay. If it doesn't solve it, if when you talk to this person, they still feel the same way, then it's time to move on. You do not want to keep yourself in danger or expose yourself to a hater or expose yourself to someone who set you up. A lot of possibilities, and they're all negative. Get out the way. Don't entertain it. Don't argue about it. Just keep it moving. So I just want to say, like I said earlier, most of my videos are lighthearted, good, funny, but informative. But, this one is also informative, but it's just a little more serious. But life is serious as well. I want y'all to take all of these into consideration. Remember these things. Pay attention when people talk to you, and pay attention to what they say to you, because you never know. You can save someone's life, or you can save your own. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see y'all again very soon. I appreciate all y'all for your support, and take care of yourself. Peace and blessings. Goodbye.